boys in blue are back.
Back!
We're back, baby!
Yelinich, he finishes that shot! And another save! Matt Freed!
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys.
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys. I'm Javier. This is Danny.
What is up?
What's going on? Biggest New York game today. NYCFC. Not the Knicks versus the Boston Celtics.
Which they got whooped.
We got whooped.
We didn't get whooped. We whooped ourselves, homie.
Barraza whooped us.
Bro, why we suck, man?
We actually didn't suck that bad. We sucked pretty bad, but not as bad as we could have sucked. We might be going live with the press conference. Actually, I think we're going live very soon with the press conference. But yeah, initial thoughts when you saw the lineup.
We're gonna go
live to Matt Freeze. We'll be back.
Against DC United, we have goalkeeper Matt Freeze. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Andrew?
Hi, Matt. Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. Obviously a tough point to get on the road after you guys had a lot of chances to score and maybe get a win. Do you look at it as valuable just keeping the clean sheet and stopping the fact that you had lost 2 games in a row? Or is it more frustrating just to not come away with the 3 points given how much of the ball you guys had and how many chances you guys had to potentially win?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in my view, I'm not focused on clean sheets. I'm focused on winning. And so certainly I would have liked to win. It's a frustrating one because we create chances. Luis had a fantastic game, obviously. Very happy for him. I wish it didn't happen against us. We created chances. We were good on the ball, solid defensively, and I'm not concerned moving forward. Not concerned with the last however many games not scoring goals and not putting the chances away. We have incredible finishers, strikers, wingers, tens, and I have full confidence in them. When what's the phrase? When the floodgates open. That might be the phrase, but when we score 1 or 2, they're going to come. They're going to come with many. So just got to keep pushing. Got to keep positive. Got to keep confident. I mean, we have, in my opinion, the best pure striker. The best pure finisher of the ball in the entire league on our team. So got to stick behind him. No worries. These things happen, and so he has our full confidence. And the rest of the front guys have my and the team's full confidence moving forward.
Alex?
Hi, Matt. This is Alex Only from AM New York. How's it going?
How's it going?
Good. From your view, what did you make of the team's overall performance tonight, and what positives can you guys take away heading into the derby this weekend? Thanks.
Yeah, I think certainly we picked it back up from where it was at in Montreal. I mean, against Montreal, that was clearly not our best game with the ball and without the ball. So, we acted a little bit more like ourselves today, passing the ball, zipping the ball around on the floor, hitting them behind, dangerous on set pieces. So just in general, it was just, we played like ourselves. And, when we get that, when we do that consistently, it leads to good things. So I think it's important. It's good, leading into the Hudson River Derby, that we had a performance like this, and hopefully we, finish it off on Saturday.
Michael?
Hey, Matt, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time. You touched on it a little bit, but maybe you can, go deeper into it. We don't get to see the team every day. You talked about the confidence that you see. Can you tell us what you see at training that gives you that confidence about this team being able to turn it around and get some of these missed chances into goals?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would just describe it as you guys see a much smaller N than I do in training. I see probably 50 times as many reps as you guys see. So I'm able to really just see the high quantity of shots and the finishes that we do. Julian, incredible left foot finish on cutting in, putting it top corner, putting it near post corner, smashing the ball. Hana is fantastic, obviously fantastic finisher and creator of the ball. And Alonso, again, I would say, in my opinion, I think in many people's opinion, the best pure finisher of the ball in this league. So, it's a few games is unfortunate, but, just in no way, shape or form is this, a big enough end to, the number of quantity, to be worried about anything. He's incredible. And all the guys up top, Augustine, incredible, cutting in, speed in behind, Maxi, incredible creation, chance creation from him. So I get to see it in training every day, and you guys unfortunately just don't get to see that every day. So, maybe I'm here to provide some perspective on that.
Final one, we'll go with Christian.
Hi, Matt. DC didn't produce a ton of chances tonight, but two really good ones that you stopped. How was it navigating that challenge in a game where maybe you're not involved consistently, but when you are, you're needed to make really big saves?
Yeah, I think it's the hardest game that there is for a goalkeeper. Only having one or two actions and they're game-changing actions. So you've really got to just stay switched on. Maybe see me yelling a lot at my defenders and at the midfielders. That's tactic. Helps them hopefully, but also helps me stay engaged and stay ready. And particularly in a 3-game week like we have this week, it's sometimes difficult to maintain focus and be ready when called upon. So I have one more coming up on Saturday.
Great, thank you, everybody.
You heard it live, Matt Freeze.
He said his team is good, man. He said if we see 100 more reps out of these guys, you'll see the magic.
One thing I want to say about that, it is true, we only see a portion of what happens. But last press conference with Pascal Janssen, he did mention players like Ojeda. And it was an interesting thing with Ojeda. He says Ojeda, when we're on the practice field, does amazing things. He does the stuff. He makes the move. He gets past defenders. But then when he's on the field, it sort of changes. So do you think that's kind of like an underlying issue with the whole team? Because that's kind of what Barraza was hinting at.
You mean free? Wow!
I got the X on the mind.
It's a great point. I'm wondering something that Mike mentioned last week when we went live was look at our depth, and then Ojeda looks really great. Ojeda looks really great in the practice, but who's he competing against on that side, right? If he's playing the left, his defender is Kevin O'Toole, his defender is Cavallo, and Kevin O'Toole is solid, but especially Cavallo. So you have him, you have Ojeda against Cavallo. When you think about what do they say? Diamond. You gotta. What's that phrase?
I don't know the phrase. But
you forge metal with metal type of thing. And do you have the defense in practice to go and make your first team stronger? Because if you have your first team playing against your second team and your second team isn't that great, then maybe you do look invincible in practice. But then when you're playing a starter in a real game, it's not the same quality. It's a higher quality, and maybe you don't have that same type of magic that you have on the practice pitch.
Yeah, and I will preface, I thought Ojeda actually had a better game this game than he has. But I've been complimenting Ojeda more, but I think...
Iron sharpens iron. Thank you, Luigi's brother. I suck with phrases.
All right. We're going to get back to the press conference. I think Pascal Jensen's coming soon, but let's talk about initial lineups. Let's talk about this. So, what?
Before we talk about initial lineups, can we just, because we have Matt Freeze there, Matt Freeze didn't have a lot to do, but when he did have something to do, he stepped up to the plate. He had some huge saves there at the end of the game. I just want to give him his round of applause.
And I guess we got to also give Barraza his round of applause. I know he's on the opposing team, but they did show him a lot of love after the game.
Yes.
And he had a really good game, man.
He did. I mean, we didn't help ourselves quite a bit, but I would say that there were multiple times where Shore should have had his first goal. Alonso Martinez should have had a couple goals. Pereira should have had a goal. I don't even know what our expected goals were for this game. It must have been high, and to see Barasa stop that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the stats. We had more possession than at 58%. Our expected goals was 1.55 to their 9.3. 0.93, sorry. Total shots, 15 shots. Only 5 were on target. But still, 5 on target. And most of those were really big saves. They weren't like just little shots. They were Barraza fully stretching out to actually stop the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of credit to that. I will say, if I told you that DC United wasn't going to have Benteke for 70 minutes, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances against DC United.
Yeah. I mean, and it was obvious that you did have a chance. I mean, it was a completely different team the first 20 minutes of this game than the last 70 minutes of this game. Completely different team. I felt like the first 20 minutes you saw an even game and you saw a lot of press from that team. But then Benteke left the pitch and it's like they lost any type of like offense. We're gonna
cut live to Jansen. We'll be back in a second.
Please raise your hand. We'll go with Christian.
Hi, Coach. Just first and foremost, if we could get your reflections on the performance and the result.
Well, I just told the guys that looking at our past week with a good game against Cincinnati and a terrible game in Pittsburgh and a very weak performance against Montreal, we had a decent performance today. We were very forward-minded, attacking-minded. We created loads of opportunities to score the goals that we needed to win this game. So overall, satisfied, but not all the way because we should have won this away game. That's for sure.
Alex?
Hi, Pascal. This is Alex Winley from AM New York. How's it going?
Hi, Alex.
You took out Maxi Morales at halftime for Aiden O'Neill. Is Aiden playing in a more advanced attacking role something that we could continue to see in the future, or do you see him as more of a box-to-box midfielder playing in a double pivot depending on the opposition tactical setup? Thanks.
Yeah, it's mainly what you said. What you said at the last part of your question. Aiden has the profile to play in either of the 3 midfield positions that I foresee for the team. As I've told you guys many times before, we need to make sure that Maxi stays fit and healthy. This was an opportunity to take him off at halftime and give Aiden more playing time to get up to speed with the rest of the team. And in this game, he had the opportunity to play a little more offensive and as a double pivot. And you could see he's getting closer and closer to what we expect from him.
Michael, Ender?
Pascal, it's Mike Andrew from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Michael.
Would love to get your opinion on 2 players from tonight. Burke Risa playing at left back and going 70 minutes, and then we got a longer look at Maximo Carrizo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Burke, as you know, is more comfortable in the middle, but our strategy going into this game allowed him to play in similar areas, especially in possession from our side. Justin Haak was also looking for moments to engage into midfield, and overall Burke had a very decent performance considering what we expected from him. However, he came off the pitch the game against Pittsburgh with some issues in his back, and he started to feel it again after 70 minutes. So we didn't take any risk going further with Burke. Also, Maxi Carrizo, great performance from the kid. He earned his play time today. He's doing a very good job in training at the moment. And you could see that the kid is aware of the areas that he needs to be playing in. And now he just has to focus on getting more outcome when he gets the opportunities to play at this level.
Andrew?
Hi, it's Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue.
Hi.
So, 3rd game in a row without scoring, but a game where you guys created a lot of chances and had, 5 shots on target. Is there any concern around seeing like players getting frustrated or maybe like lacking in confidence, given that they've had opportunities they haven't been able to convert? And what do you see like that makes you confident that things will turn and that they'll actually be able to finish somebody like Hannes or Alonso, who's maybe had chances that they weren't able to finish?
No, I'm not worried at all. If you look at our games, you see all our games, all 13 have been very close and very tight. Either we win with 1 goal difference or we lose with a goal difference, apart from the game away against New England. So we know for a fact that our games are very close. There are quite a few games where, like tonight, we had the possibilities in order to get the advantage in a game. But I start to worry when we don't get into these areas, into these spaces and these opportunities to be more clinical. We know that we have to be more clinical. That also showed today's game, and that's what we're going to focus on. And it doesn't worry me at all because I know that the guys are able to create these chances, and it's a matter of time if they start to convert them into goals.
Michael Allen.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Michael Allen with Pro Soccer and Blue City Radio. I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that Justin Hack positioning tonight. I thought it was really interesting that it seemed like an accordion back line where he would play in the back four on defense and then look for moments to get forward into the attack, and he would drop into a back three with Burke Reese coming in. Is that something you saw specifically to DC and encouraged that strategy, or is that something we could look forward to going forward with, assuming Reese, stays healthy?
Yeah, it's part of the bigger plan that we have with the team. You guys know that we're trying to focus on getting more opportunities, more solutions in the central part of the pitch, and this is a way to mold your shape into having that extra player in midfield. And today was a good opportunity, and going forward in the strategy for today's game. And I think Justin did a tremendous job finding the timing and the moments to play in midfield and engage and making sure that he controls the counter press and being on time in the back four when needed. So it's something that I foresee in the near future as well. It gives us more opportunities and more tools to play in a fluid shape that we're always looking for.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
The recording has stopped.
All right, you heard it there. So Pascal Jansen is not worried at all. At all. Are you worried at all? I'm worried.
I'm worried at all. I think it was interesting to him saying, I have confidence that this team will have the shots when we get there. You know what I mean? But I actually feel the opposite. I feel like Alonso Martinez came from being an extremely deadly striker the first, 7-8 games to going on this cold streak, and is it impacting him mentally? I was actually, one of my notes that I had for after this call is he trying too hard? Or is he just not confident in his wingers? Because there are times where he has the ball, this game, last game, the first chance he had today, right? Where he had the ball on the left hand, went all the way to the right, and then hit that crossbar. But there were multiple opportunities to distribute the ball, but he's like, I'm going to hold this ball, I'm going to make the shot. And he goes for it. And we've seen that not only after that shot, but then the other shot where Maxi literally took the ball from him. He's like, you don't have control of it. Took the ball and then distributed it. And you go, is he trying to, has the weight of the team on his shoulders to score? And he is doing that and saying, I'm going to try to get a score. Is he ball hogging, or is he just saying the rest of the team can't score, so I'm going to try to score anytime I have an opportunity? How are you feeling about Alonso Martinez? And is that type of pressure stopping him from actually being more as clinical as he used to be?
I mean, the person I'm least worried about is Alonso Martinez. Yes, you could say it's a little bit of a cold streak. But yet, all our dangerous chances are coming from Alonso. It's like, okay, you want him to pass it to a winger? For what? For it to just go nowhere? For the ball to get stolen in the box? But my whole concern is he's saying we're getting those chances in the box, but are we getting really good chances in that box? And when it's not Alonso Martinez, are we feeling that confident about Julian Fernandez, about Ojeda? Wolf's fizzled down a little too. Keaton Parks is injured right now. Getting into that box, I don't feel as confident with the people who are attacking and who are shooting the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there were other players who did make opportunities today, but they didn't convert on them. But I would say that there were today, maybe the last 2 games, no, but this game in particular, we had real opportunities created in the front lines, right? Like I would say Pereira, there was that perfect set piece cross, and Hack gave it to Pereira, and Barraza blocked it, but Pereira had the opportunity. Julian Fernandez, when Alonso Martinez crossed the left, and Alonso Martinez crossed the left, Julian Fernandez had the shot, missed it completely wide to the right. So like I think the team today was cohesive on the offense, but I thought, for the exception of Alonso Martinez, who still didn't score, but his shots felt more deadly. The rest of the shots that we had, 15 shots, 5 on target, like that's just not clinical.
Yeah, it's just not clinical enough.
I think Luigi has a very good point.
Blue City Radio says, when does the superstition set in?
Bro, I'm already feeling it. I felt like it started like this 3 games in a row. Do you know how many newborn babies are born in the United States every day?
How many?
10,000 newborn babies. That means there's been 100,000 newborn babies that have as many MLS goals as our team.
You're an idiot,
Bro, that's a crazy stat.
What did Luigi? Luigi said, and this is Halen. I feel weird calling you Luigi, but okay. He's been asked to do things that doesn't fit his player profile. He's a poacher, and he's being asked to stretch the lines and win one-on-ones.
I mean, I agree that he's a poacher, but I also think he's been very good at winning one-on-ones and very good at stretching the lines. I think those skill sets have increased over the time that he's been with this team. And I thought just a few games ago, we would have said he's doing a great job doing those things.
Yeah.
So I agree. Maybe that's not where he started, but I think he is developing that skill set, and I'm okay with that.
Another thing that Janssen did, that was asked about, was having Burke Risa at left back, and then playing the 4 in the back, and then when attacking, playing 3. What'd you make of that?
I thought the formation was really interesting today, right? I think kind of what we mentioned was it was on offense, it was a 3-4-3. On defense, it would be a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because without Parks and with Maxi being an older, maybe a slower player, it's hard to have that press with just the standard amount of people in the midfield. And so I think having a 3 in the back allows you to put more pressure on the other team, bring that lineup, and then allow that. And you saw that as soon as Benteke left that game, we were stealing the ball from that team consistently. And our line was super high. Like you saw Burke Risa, Thiago Martins, Tavon Gray pretty much living on the midfield.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. And it's so great. I know people hate on Thiago Martins, but he's so fast that when they do make the opportunity, he's able to track back and win those one-on-ones.
Did you see the stat this game? He's the 5th fastest MLS player so far this season.
That's kind of crazy.
At 22 miles. He's a cougar. I don't even know if cougars make that noise. But I think one reason why it was beneficial to, like, when you're offensive, have another guy up there. We're missing Keaton Parks, and he gives us that advantage in that midfield. Now, you add an additional guy to that midfield, give us more numbers, then it becomes a little easier to attack through the midfield.
Yes.
And it's harder when we don't have Keaton Parks out there, but leveling out with that, I thought was a good move.
Yeah.
All right. What other? Wait, sorry.
I think a couple of things we want to touch on is Maxi's out at the half. So we bring in Aiden O'Neill into the play. How are you feeling about Aiden after 2 games seeing him?
It's still so early to really determine what his ceiling is going to be, but I think, he's fit in pretty well. And I think last game we saw, like, he had a beautiful pass into the box, and it just shows that he can be, like, one of those quality players. And Janssen was just asked, like, I think he sees him as, like, he can kind of do it all, and that's kind of what they like about him.
Yeah. Agreed. I feel the same way. Like, I saw him play, and he seems like a guy, when he gets the ball, he's still not sure what the play's going to be. And you could see the kind of play stops a little bit, and he's like, are you going to move forward? Are you going to stay here? And he ends up just passing the ball. So I think it's still a little too early. But I thought someone who did have a pretty good game for not having a lot of game time is Carrizo.
I thought it was decent. I didn't think he was great, and maybe it just was the sample size, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention to him. I didn't think he had, like, a great game. I thought Janssen kind of hyped it up a little, but I thought he was all right.
I mean, he's like, what, 18 years old? He looked a lot more refined than last time we saw him play, and I felt like he got that good penalty. He was boxing out players that were much more physically bigger than him.
You said good penalty. What are you referring to? Like a foul?
Sorry, he had a foul. Sorry, my bad. He had a good foul that he helped create.
Oh, okay.
And also, you made me lose my train of thought, homie. And I thought some of the passes that he had was good. So somebody who hasn't had a lot of starting time to come in there and look, I think pretty decent. A good replacement for Johnny Shore. I didn't think we lost anything by bringing in Carrizo for sure. I'm excited to see more of Carrizo. And I'm at this point. Some Aiden Brush just brought it up on Instagram. Was we should play 2 strikers, bring in Reed. And, I kind of agree with that. Like, we're at this place where our starting lineup isn't really cutting it, and we should still be experimenting. And we keep signing Reed to these, like, one-day contracts, but then we don't play him. And I think, if another striker needs to come in, I think at this point it should be Reed, and we should see the talent that we have there.
Instead of Bakrar. I mean, at this point, I think we're all kind of down the Bakrar train. Like, we're not feeling it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt.
I'm saying bring in the youngins in general.
No, I don't want to be throwing away games because we're giving youngins time.
Because we're going to win the cup this year?
What I'm saying is we should still be seeing what these wingers have. We've already stalled Ojeda. We've already stalled Julian for a whole year. These guys didn't start all of last year. And now we're trying to see, are there going to be the quality pairs that we thought they were? That everybody was hyping a season ago. We were like, these wingers are going to be great. Wow, this NYCFC team might be dominant. We haven't seen that, and Nick Cushing barely played these guys. He had his favorites, we know, and it didn't turn out. And I think we're finally starting to see these guys play. Now, have we seen any real quality from these guys? It's been disappointing. Like Julian, I'm very disappointed in it. It just seems like he should be doing so much more that he's not doing. Like, even simple passes sometimes aren't even getting done. And it's just like, come on, Julian. Like, I thought he was going to be the next Gabriel Pereira. Like, they had that same type of player profile, and it's not living up to that at all.
Yeah.
And I've been really down on our wingers.
I noticed. You keep talking about last year. You're going to keep living in the past. Buy me some Apple stock while you back there, homie.
Apple stock.
I don't know how it was, but I've been using that joke for like 10 years. So it used to make sense.
Blue City Radio said, I don't love the Micha sub. Don't know if Tavon was hurt, but Tavon led the team last year in assists. So why is he subbed off late and tied games? Against Montreal, Micha did nothing when he came on. I actually was thinking the same thing. Because Micha comes in the game, and there was passes that he led him too far. There was, I think there was a shot taken. No, I think it was just the pass that drove me crazy because Tavon's been so accurate with his crossing.
Yeah,
like why have Tavon? Well, the one thing I'll say was a short week.
Yeah, it was a short week. He played tons of time in the game
in Montreal,
and on top of that, we played the Red Bulls on Saturday. Like, you need a so I first thought the same thing too, and said, well, I mean, when Maxi came out, I had this hesitation. Like, I thought Julian should have came out the game because I thought Julian had a rough half, and I thought, why are you taking out Maxi? But then I was like, oh yeah, we play in 3 more days against the Red Bulls, so that was my thought. And so, but I agree. I think we lost a little something when Micha came into the game. So yeah, I kind of get that. There was another point that Blue City were right?
Just let me Instagram folks. We can't put your comments up because this thing sucks. But where has Kevin O'Toole? They asked about
injured.
Yeah, he's been injured. And then GK said, "Where'd the press conference go?" It ended, bro. You gotta come earlier. What were you gonna say? Oh,
No, I thought Blue City already had another point, but no, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Are you feeling more confident going into this Red Bull game after a performance like this?
More confident than I was on Saturday when we also didn't score but lost?
Yes.
Not really, honestly. What I do like is that the Red Bulls look like they're about to lose against Nashville. It's 1-2 or 2-1 Nashville. And so they're going to be off a win. But I just think when I see that Red Bull team, they just scored 6 goals against the
7
goals against the LA Galaxy. It's like, man, what I would do to have that type of like offensive firepower. And I know the LA Galaxy have been really tough. I think they won their first game today, or they were up against the Union. I don't know if they came out, but it was like, even if didn't we play the LA Galaxy this year?
No, I don't think we
Not
played
yet?
the Galaxy.
I thought we played them. But the point
They
is,
did not win against the Union, by the way.
oh, they didn't?
No.
They were doing so well.
3-2 Union won.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. You guys suck. But the point is, I don't think we could have a 7-0 game against it. And so I'm saying, I think the Red Bulls are gonna score against us. And can we score against the Red Bulls? Is something that I'm scared of. We are home, but we just lost against the worst team in the league at home, and I'm a little scared of getting like really beat up by the Red Bulls.
I think you're overhyping this team. If we look at this team's away record, they're terrible. They're the second to last team in the East.
Really?
On the road, they suck. 3 losses and I believe 3 draws or 2 draws. They have a -6 goal differential on the road. Granted, we're only across the river, but that's when our fans come into play. I think the game's at Citi Field, right?
It is at Citi Field.
Citi Field. Look, we got embarrassed last playoff game against them at Citi Field. And it wasn't just on the field, it was off the field too. Our crowd wasn't as loud as they should have been. It just didn't feel right. This is a time to come back, especially after a rough week that we've had, to really prove that, hey, this team, this city is blue, and we need to come back and win this game. And you know what? Red Bull has just destroyed their playoff final guys, LA Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
We can't come out with that type of performance, and we can't come out flat. Like, that's the main thing. We came out flat that playoff game last year. This is the time we turn it around, and these guys got to come out strong. If you had to predict what's starting to line, you want to take some questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
Nick's Rage says, do fans not understand we have to wait for a transfer window before they complain about not signing players?
I mean, I think it just ended like not too long ago. So we had an opportunity for a while. Oh, Luigi just said one just ended. So yes. So I do think there was sufficient time to complain about this winter transfer window though. And I think they have the right to be upset. But what I am hoping for is that this is really giving Jansen a good sample size to say this is the XYZ positions that we need more talent. So I know people don't like to hear that we need to be patient, but I am hoping that the summer transfer window something actually happens. To Nick's Rage's point.
One thing I will say is like, yeah, I mean, I think the leash is longer for the coach. Obviously, he just got here, but the leash for David Lee should be shortened. Like, at this point, we're talking about a lot of guys who didn't make sense left already, and these guys who we thought were going to be great players aren't really amounting to their talent.
I mean, I think you're like contradicting yourself in a little bit, because you said we've had Ojeda on this team and Julian Fernandez on this team, and they were put on the bench. So was that Lee's fault or was that Nick Cushing's fault?
Well, you don't think Lee had any say on lineups at all?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean, if that was true, then why not keep Cushing for all his terrible ass lineups last year? Just say, oh, it's Lee's fault. I don't think so. You think the GM's playing a part in the starting lineup?
I think when it came to Cushing, probably not Ronnie. Ronnie was like, "Nah, this is my squad. I'm doing push-ups naked in the locker room."
No, I think you saw Cushing play his guys last year, and now we're seeing this team. And I get it. Julian and Ojeda have been on this team for a while. But the time isn't there, and I think you keep forgetting that they are a young team. I think where Lee has struggled, and I think we've talked about this in the past, and it just makes sense still now, is that I looked at Julian Fernandez and Hannes Wolf today and Ojeda, and I go, man, if we had better talented players, these guys would be considered like super subs, right? And for a player who's like 18, 19, 20 years old, super sub is a good title, right? And it's like you're refining yourself in that with that playing time in practice, and then you come out, and then sooner or later you get the starting lineup job. But we have not signed enough talent, and now people who maybe shouldn't be starting immediately are in the place that they need to start game after game after game. But that's the talent you have, so you play them.
And then whose fault is that? David Lee.
No,
You're making the point that it should be on David Lee.
But what I'm saying is now we are seeing that they might not be the talent, and then you go and you find the players for the coach that the way the coach plays. And I think what you're seeing here is that not Lee, Jansen wants a team, and he wants wingers that can kind of play box to box, that are super fast. I mean, look how many times we're seeing Pereira play on that like left wing position. And when he plays there, our press is so much better than when any other player's on that left wing position. Just wish he could do something offensively, man, because that guy kills me with the lack of goals that he has. But I was just thinking that like he's probably going to look for some type of players that can play more box to box and keep that press that he's looking for so badly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot to go over there, but I just feel like it's a lack of talent right now. And yes, it's a concern going into this Red Bull game. We do have to play with more intensity. If you had to predict the starting 11 for the Red Bulls, do you kind of roll out the same thing? Do you think this was more a fatigue thing? What do you think?
I think it was a bit of a fatigue thing. I'm really struggling with Julian Fernandez out there, honestly. If it was up to me, I think I would bring Ojeda back into the starting lineup.
Move Wolf to the right.
And move Wolf to the right, I think is what I would do. Or keep Wolf on the left, as some people love, and put Ojeda on the right. I think Ojeda played decently last game on the right. We didn't score, but he still looked good there. And I think he was naturally played a lot of his career on the right. So I think I'd be okay with putting him on the right and keeping on the left. But I think Julian is having a tough time, and I would sit him.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Reese's being back there too. I think Kavala struggled a little last game, and for his age, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really fault him, but I thought he did struggle, and I think that's why. I mean, he mentioned it. That's kind of why he put Ojeda on the right, because then Ojeda could run all the way up and not have to worry about coming back, because Kavala and Pereira, that was kind of the mix-up with them. Like, he had no support, and as a young player, you kind of need that support. So I think you keep Reese out. I kind of like that back four that you then bring some guys into the middle, and if we still don't have Kevin O'Toole, I mean, of course, I would love if Kevin O'Toole was back, because then that'd even be better, in my opinion, but he's not back.
No,
or he might be back. Let's see.
And honestly, I think Hack is like a threat on offense, and I like what they've been doing with Hack, right? Like, if you got Gray, Martins, and Burke Risa in that back line while Hack moves up, I don't know if I have more confidence in another back line. Gray and Martins are just beastly, and I think Risa had a solid game today. And it's insane how comfortable Hack looks with the ball, and when he's driving forward, he's getting past defenders. And I get it, they're not the best defenders, because you're getting past a striker and you're maybe getting past an offensive midfielder, but you are seeing Hack look super comfortable with the ball and allowing other players to get space. And, you know, and it makes sense because he sometimes plays midfield. So I think giving Hack that opportunity to push up, and then having Risa, Martins, and Gray kind of hit that backfield in the middle to keep that defense strong, I think is a really good layout, and it allows, like we talked about earlier, the team to play that press. So I would play the same team with the exception that I said on offense.
One thing that's going to be a struggle is Red Bulls have 5 clean sheets this season, which is 3rd most in the league.
Wow.
So they're not allowing many goals, and we're not scoring many goals. So that's a recipe for disaster. Granted, I was way more optimistic that playoff game last year. So if you were more negative, maybe the superstition helps us and we get the win.
Yeah, bro. Talking about negativity, we got some people hitting us up. I hope we lose today to put a fire on them. On Saturday, we heard a lot of people just in general being negative about the team and like turning the team over. And I'm just saying, What are your thoughts just overall? I get it. There are some fans who like to support by complaining, and that's their way of supporting. And then there's a supporting of like, let's find the silver lining in this. And I think I know your answer, but what are your thoughts maybe on those, maybe to phrase it, because I know your answer is like which if I ask you which party you fall in, I know you're the silver lining mostly, but like what do you think of those types of fan bases? Any thoughts on that? Do you think that like negative fan base that's like fire everyone tomorrow brings value? Do you think we should, like what are your thoughts in general? I was curious on that.
I think fans have the right to be mad.
Yes.
I'm going to say it that way.
Yes.
Fans have the right to be mad if the quality on the field sucks.
Yes.
And the quality on the field hasn't been great. If I'm in the stands, do I want to hear somebody complaining 24/7? No. Like, we're watching a game, I want to enjoy it. But I do understand people being upset. Do I get I want us to lose, so then, like, David Lee gets fired? That's dumb. Yeah. Why would you ever want your team to lose? And it's not like the NFL. If you lose, you get the number 1 draft pick. It doesn't even work that way. It's not that great. So losing really doesn't solve for anything. So I would never want to see my team lose. I don't get that concept, but I do understand fans' frustration, and we get frustrated too, and we get frustrated with the quality of play, and it is what it is. And we should keep this team to a higher standard. And the reason that I feel like they have more fuel to be complaining and we have more fuel to be complaining, they talk about like they're this quality team that's going to be this up and coming, like this is the staple of MLS, NYCFC. And then you have this type of squad out there, a very young squad with no mix of veterans, which is how we had those championship runs. So why don't they have the right to be upset if you're the one setting the expectations, and your expectations is, what was the exact line? We're playing for trophies every year. Yeah. We just got knocked out of Open Cup in 1 round. You're not playing for trophies every year. If that's the quality of your team, that they can't even get past the first round of a USL team. Yeah. Come on.
And I think this ties exactly to this question we just got on Instagram by 3RJC. Was it a Cushing problem or a personnel problem? And is it if it's a coaching problem, is it Jensen out yet? I don't think it's Jensen out.
No, it's definitely not a coaching problem. We just lost Santiago Rodriguez. Do we forget that this guy was our leading scorer / assister for the last 3 seasons, and we never got a replacement for him? This is all on front office. This has nothing to do with David Lee. I mean, with Pascal Janssen. Foul or no foul? I don't even know what that means.
Oh, no, that was a good point.
What?
Very early in the game.
This could just be somebody trolling us.
No. I had this in my notes, and Jansen was looking for the call. There was a foul. There was a foul by one of our players, and if someone wants to save us in the chat, there was definitely someone who went down that didn't get called. Opportunity started, with Gray all the way to Wolf. And remember, Wolf went down the pitch, and he could have given it to Alonso Martinez, which he didn't do. But then inside the box, on that left corner, they fouled him. He went down, and they didn't call it. Did you think that was a penalty? Do you remember the play?
I don't remember the play at all.
I thought it was a foul, actually. That was 100. Oh, and look, Blue City Radio agrees with me. Wolf was 100% foul. I don't know how he didn't see that. That was crazy to me. So yes, foul. But I would say we didn't lose the game because of that, because we had not hundreds, but 15 other opportunities to score a goal, and we didn't score it. So I didn't say we were going to lose of that. I thought the ref actually did a really great job, for the exception of that calling this game. So I'm not going to blame the draw on it, which felt like a loss. But that was 100% a foul.
Yeah. Any big, I guess, what's the game plan against the Red Bulls? The Red Bulls are an interesting team because they're no longer that pressing team as much. I think they still try to press, but they don't press like they used to press, where you knew what you were getting. It's kind of a little different now, where they'll back off the press. I guess how do we win this game?
I think it's going to be a game that's won through the midfield. I think they have a strong midfield. They have a strong offensive lineup, and I think we're gonna have to win that midfield. I feel every time we play against the Red Bulls, the game happens in the midfield, and so I think that's where we're gonna have to win, and it's gonna be tough because we don't have Keaton Parks. So, like we've been doing the past few games, we need to go and like overload that midfield to keep possession. It does put our back line in a vulnerable place. But I do have
especially if they're going to be pressing.
That's true. But I have faith in our back line. I really like what Hack's done. I know people complain about Thiago Martins all the time, but I think he is one of the best center backs in the league. And I think Tavon Gray is just so underrated as a right back.
Especially offensively lately.
Yes.
Offensively lately, Tavon Gray's just been... His crossing, his lead passing, they've all... Oh, he had a great lead pass to Alonso Martinez this game, too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I would like to point that out, though. There was a big part of the game plan today was having center backs and the back line feed the front line, which I thought was a really interesting play. And I think it worked. Maybe I don't have the stats in front of me, but based on the eye test, I would say it looked like it worked 50% of the time, and we didn't do it. But I like to see that because if you think about it, with Tavon Gray's new skill set and with Burke Reese's skill set, you have that opportunity, especially because our midfield's a little weak because you don't have Keaton Parks being able to connect the back line with the front. I think it's really interesting to see that direct play from the center backs to the front line. And with Alonso Martinez's speed and ability to put himself in the right place, I think it's pretty good. So I want to see more of that. It doesn't always work, but when it works, it's deadly as hell.
Score predictions, if you had to go. Red Bulls, NYCFC, first derby of the season. Who wins this game?
I'll never, ever predict that the Red Bulls are going to win. I am scared, but I'm going to go 2-1 NYCFC.
2 goals?
You mean you just gave this hype speech? City Field, don't embarrass yourselves from the playoffs.
I also gave a hype speech during the playoff game.
You also gave a hype speech about how bad the wingers were. So you're all over the place, bro.
2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. Alonso Martinez. And I think we're going to get our first goal from Aiden O'Neill.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be sad if our guy who just came 2 seconds ago scores more than our wingers.
No, it's going to hype us up, bro. We're going to be like, this guy's the real deal. He's had 7 business days with us, and he's ready to go.
Maxi Morales, the Red Bull killer. I don't even know if that's true, but I think he definitely leads the team with goals against the Red Bulls. 1-0. He scores for us. We win. That's it. That's my score prediction. Are you hyped? Going to the game early? You got to. Tailgate? I won't be at the game, sadly.
Sally, well, he's going to go camping. It was raining. You're still going to go camping.
I'm going to be in the middle of the woods, just trying to figure out something about NYCFC.
Meditating and reflecting on the team. I'll be there. I'll be there chilling. Yeah, I think a little pregame would be nice.
Nick on Instagram says 1-0 Red Bull own goal. That's hilarious, Nick. Jordy says also going say 2-1. I bought my tickets today, so hopefully our boys in blue lock it in on Saturday.
Yo, facts, B.
Word up. Yo, maybe we give a ticket giveaway. I think we might have 2 tickets. We'll let you guys know if there's a ticket giveaway.
I mean, I got 2 tickets. So if anyone wants 2 tickets, tell us the funniest joke on this thread, and we'll do it.
Damn.
You get it. You got to get there for the free scarves. I didn't hear there was a free scarf today.
Oh, Halen's going to be the substitute city boy.
Nice.
There we go.
We need a little bit more color in this in this group.
All right. On that note.
Wait. Is there anybody else that had anything good to talk about real quick? Someone said Jovan was not worth $8 million. Totally agree.
Yeah, we're sorry if we missed any comments, especially on Instagram, because it doesn't come straight into the StreamYard.
Also, I don't want to gloat on something that I'm sad about, but there was so many people a couple years ago who was like, Barrasa's not a starter for this league. My boy is a starter, and he was goddamn good today.
Don't hype up a guy who just beat us, bro.
No, bro. I mean, we
he wants to have the game of his life. They have a negative 12 goal differential right now. Now he wants to have the game of his life. He couldn't wait.
I'm just saying, bro. When Nick Cushing did not let that man have Leagues Cup, I was heartbroken for him. He deserved Leagues Cup, and this was him getting his
flowers back,
his like revenge on not being able to play.
That was messed up because Nick Cushing did promise him Leagues Cup. Now, would we have gone that far in Leagues Cup? I don't know. I didn't see all that if Freeze didn't start some of those games. But
also, my man leaves New York. Terrible haircut. Come back, Braza. Get your barber back.
Those barbers are struggling out there, bro.
I was like, I'm never getting a cut in DC again. I mean, it was full of style before he left New York.
All right, I'm ready to go. It's late.
All right.
This has been fun, y'all.
Peace, guys. See you on Saturday.
See y'all Saturday. Well, he will. Peace.